So there has to be a level of business acumen that gets you from A to B. He dismantled the entire intermediaries that were dealing with him as it pertains to him dealing direct with Universal Republic. But now when you get to Universal and Republic and you have some of these disputes with them, this is like the final boss. They played a long game, right? And so I think Drake's confidence in his ability to renegotiate and outmaneuver and outsmart some of these deals, I think that he thought he was going to take the same game that got him away from Jay Prince, got him up under from Cash Money, Young Money. I think he thought that those maneuvers would still land him with his leverage in a place where he would get a more favorable deal and represent his interests at the negotiating table. It's almost like he could have been blinded by his past wins. Because Universal is the final boss. This is something you can't play with. This the big dog. I want to look at a few more clips of Joe's perspective on it, and we're going to add a little bit more context to that. Pay attention. This is, these gentlemen are saying that not sure if Drake really even knows his value, right? It's not a clear-cut, concise point ever been made that Drake understands his value outside of the machine. And again, the historical context is Drake's always used the machine to boast on the rest of the market because they had to use him to build the streaming platforms. It's almost like the house. But I want to talk about formula. And I want to talk about how if there were any label disputes, it felt like Drake always played them close to the chest. But something tells me that Drake may understand more than what he has led on about his value. Because again, if I'm going in the back room somewhere, I've been in this game now 10, 15 years. I'm starting to understand what the 100 gigs generated. I'm starting to understand what apps are doing. I'm starting to understand how they're moving around with data. I was one of the only podcast dudes that came out and said, oh, all y'all business guys just missed a very important part of Kanye West. When Kanye West was going into those label meetings with Gap and all these other places, he was saying something very important. Yo, I have 3 million emails, actively buying emails. And that was before he went direct to consume. I can imagine what he has now. But while he was with Gap and Adidas and all of these different things, he at least knew if I leave here with nothing, I'm at least leave with my customer base. The people that sign up when my name is used. You ever see a podcaster say, sign up and use code? That's because that's a tracking service in place. But when we're dealing with Drake, imagine if Drake had the kind of mindset to understand and have every email from every person that has interacted and signed up via his product, service, or music since he started. Or since streaming started. What if he had someone around him then like a Jay who was building title, who maybe they had a relationship? And this is why alliances are much more important than enemies. You want to build alliances, but it get hard building alliances in this industry because these dudes are suckers. And I say that respectfully to my people because my people is if you see me with them, that mean I co-sign them. I love them. I got love for them. But for the most part, bro, a lot of these dudes are suckers. But imagine if Drake could have been in a scenario where he was able to talk to Jay-Z, able to iron some of those things out, able to be in a scenario where Jay could have told him, yo, make sure you getting those emails. These are the people that are spending money with you. They're moving and signing up and downloading apps and shit because you are there. Kanye West moved around with 3 million. It's no telling what Drake would have had. But you have podcasters like Joe and others speaking to Drake not knowing his value outside of the system. I think Drake understands his value outside of the system, and that's why you haven't seen him unload anything yet. That's why you haven't seen him get into his mogul era like you seen Jay-Z.